So today, let's take a look at the Cleveland Launcher XL drivers. This is the XL2, so the second iteration of the XL drivers. These drivers sit in a really interesting place because the cost puts them at quite a unique spot, and the performance puts them amongst the pack, which is that's counterintuitive, isn't it? Let's start off with the looks and the feels. So initial thoughts is they look big, friendly, very clean as well. Like there's not much visual going on them, which I think makes a lot of sense for the price point and maybe golfers that this is aiming at. The standard sits neutral. You see more rounding off in the toe than you do in the draw. The draw definitely looks like it's going to draw, and they're quite stretched back at the back. They feel quite low to the ground at the back here as well, which again just gives you that sense of user friendliness and that their weight at the back helping you with miss-hits ideas. The neck is very subtle as well. Like they've got the changeable neck now, which we'll look at the tech as we go, and that's actually very, very subtle, not as chunky, where the Prime models didn't have that. Standard to kick us off. Oh yeah, that feels like a bomb. Ooh, look at the numbers. They're loud, like they're decent noise. They're not carbony, they're not trying to be duller in their sounds, like they're up there in the noise. It does give you that feeling of speed and power, even though it's not true. Like that doesn't relate through to numbers, but that's certainly the feeling that it gives. And in a world of drivers with so much carbon flying around, this one actually feels quite loud, energetic, not too loud, just like it makes that titanium truer sound feeling. Oh yeah, that feels so solid. I've gamed launcher drivers before, and when I game them, I often think, oh yeah, they just feel simple and solid. And what I do like is how neutral this one sits. Like it's big, friendly, and neutral. It does make me feel like I can just stand here and give it an almighty wallop. Look at that. Woohoo! Bomb balls. So if we look at the draw, we definitely see this end here, the toe is kind of straighter, turned in more, where the neutral one is more rounded here. We've also got draw written on the bottom here, in there faintly. You can see that it's the draw model. When I put it down, I can see it. And it also looks a little bit more like the shaping in the heel is different, like there's more in here. So I'm going to aim out to the right, because this one feels like it's quite drawy. Let's see if it moves back. Yeah, it's starting to come back, look, and I've aimed a long way right there. Sometimes feel with the draw drivers, I should just aim down the right, build in a draw driver and just woohoo, sling them in. Same sound, slightly different look as you put it down by the ball, but not everyone would notice that. Same feel, and look at it. I mean, it does, I towed that slightly. And this feels quite aggressive in its draw, which for me personally, again, who this is aimed at with the price point, I think there's lots of positives in that. Some of the manufacturers, I test the draw driver and I think, oh yeah, it's quite subtle, like it makes me change shape. I don't know how much it would make others change shape. That feels like a good, strong drawing driver, which it should do, again, for the kind of clientele who might be shaping it a bit more, the casual golfer a little bit more at the price point that could be gaming this. But again, the more I say that, I just think, well, why aren't more of us using these kind of clubs at this price when we all moan about how expensive clubs are? And it's not as if Cleveland are like the golden child, because they're part of Srixon and XXIO, which steps way up in the price. But I use the Cleveland and I think, well, we'll show you the numbers as we go. Like, why are we paying more? Because to me, they both look clean, simple, easy, and I can see what's coming out in initial testing. And it's pretty impressive. So Cleveland say this driver is built with the avid golfer in mind. You define what the avid golfer means. For me, I think they're just designing clubs at a price with tech and not kind of bamboozling too much with tech for the everyday golfer. Someone who wants a good driver, as good as some of the top brands in golf, but it's not fussed with too much tech torque? Possibly. Maybe in the comments, let me know what it means to you. So the club is built around the mainframe XL face technology. This is allowing them to keep the ball speeds up when we're dotting it all across the face and not hitting our best strikes. So it's an AI-driven face thickness that's, again, trying to keep those ball speeds where we need them, because ball speeds will always drop off when we don't hit the sweet spot. That's what makes this game so fun. And anyone who's got the XL1, in the XL2 we're seeing an increase in MOI from different weight distribution, so in this axis as well as this way, so heel toe, high and low, they're increasing the MOI, the twist of that head when we don't hit it in the right place, which again will transfer into more ball speeds. It's all coming from the face, it's coming from where they put the weight, and it's coming from that driver base kind of from the ground up for the avid golfer, they're saying, who is possibly going to dot it across the face a bit more than others. We also get the addition of the adjustable hosel, so we're now able to dial in lofts and a little bit of light as well. So for the price, you're getting tech that most, AI driven face technology, variable face, high MOIs, yet you're not getting quite as much bamboozling, just a little bit of bamboozling in an all-round gameable package. I think the price is a sweet spot. I think it's a sweet spot for anyone who wants top performing but not that crazy high price. I think the prices will always kind of, for some people, reflect on it being not as good, because if it's not expensive, how can it be as good? That's a common human reaction. I think if you test it amongst others, you would be shocked. So I think the price is a sweet spot, which will play lots of people into tech that's decent and world class. But also at the same time, I think some people, the price might play them out of it because they think, well, I do want the more expensive. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should all drivers be more at this price? So when it comes to the data, the performance of this club, they're amazing. I mean, they sit in the pack, which I think for the cost is what makes these really stand out, but only if you want them to stand out, because I think the cost throws up a different question, which we talked about earlier. But the standard model, I can get that spin between 2.2 and 2.5, which is exactly where it should sit for that kind of head. I'm getting crazy ball speeds out of this club. It's fast. So anything averaging around 164, 165 for me, averaging is fast. That's allowing me to touch my top end of 170, which I got from these, and the launch is good. And the draw was very similar. It did just, obviously with that heel weighting bias, just go a little bit further left for me. With my natural shape of shot, when I'm trying to hit longer drives like now, which can be a little bit of a draw, the draw option is just not going to suit me. For anyone who wants to calm down curvature to the right, the draw option might be there. Slightly higher spinning, I saw 200 to 300 revs, but they were close to each other, which was quite interesting. The numbers were pretty impressive considering, again, who this club is aimed at and the amount of MOI kind of presence that they're pushing in the size of this head. Now, we've got a fun little game where I just push the idea of forgiveness on to see exactly what I can get out of these clubs. So it's call friendly, which means I can stand here and hit it as hard as I can on this very friendly 18th here at St Andrews and not hit the cars down the right. Is that true? 352 yards. I'm not going to hit this green. How close can I get it with one of the friendliest clubs I've tested? I'm going to just build up the going out of my boots. Lovely drive into them. I can't not hit it into the safe bit. 162 ball speed, 311 distance. This is post-Christmas. I haven't really swung for getting on to 3 weeks with my brakes because I was away before Christmas. That's not bad kicking off the new year. It's not the numbers that make us not buy this club, I always think. A little bit thin, but I definitely have more speed. It won't come out in ball, but there was more club there. You can see it's a little wilder. Has gone all right. All right, that's getting there for me. That's a 163 ball. Oh, getting a little clean, but I do feel, and it's a feeling, like I can just stand here with this club, and most drivers, but this one, 163 ball again, and just bash it. I remember playing with one of the DP World Tour Strixon players a couple of years ago, and I was using the Cleveland, and he was like, what drive is that? And he had a go, and he was like, cool, that just feels so easy, and like good flat flight on it. Because he was so kind of in the Strixon band, he forgot that he could look, because obviously it's marketed as a pick up and play bit of a fit club. And he was like, I'm going to get one of them. Just a little under the radar sometimes. Right, come on, let's have a strike with these speeds. Not bad. I don't think it's going to be my best ball speed, but it's good distance, isn't it? I mean, it's out there, and you can see how it's 163 ball, slightly high on the face, 2-3 spin. Just good numbers. Just one more. I need to get faster, don't I? I need more 170 balls this year. 2024, more 170 golf balls consistently, rather than having to build up to there every time. What was the ball speed on that? Struck that okay, bit heel side. 164 ball. One more. You can see that's a 2-7 spin. So if I got that struck better, 164 ball, we are basically near my at the moment top end. Which I'd like to know your feelings on in the comments. There's a toe, look. So I am turning that. That's my first real wild one. But because how can a club at this price be performing in the data the same as others? It doesn't seem right, does it? 164 ball, post-Christmas. I'm liking that. If you're finding your draw drivers don't draw enough, definitely try to draw one if you want to spend a decent price to get a world-class brand, but in affordable prices, but at the same time, world-class performance is what it feels. Like, go and test. Like, do you get the same? I don't know why we pay more. Yeah, I do play the Srixon driver. I could easily play that as well. If you want to know how to get more distance out of your driver, use these ideas because they're helping a lot of golfers increase their club head speed and increase their ball speed and hit it longer.